Welcome to Shomach Shov on the Daf Shir sponsor Lui Nishma Sam Yaakov Shalom Le'Abbas Yitzchok. We're holding on Metzia Daf Tzadik Vov. The Gemara on the top of the base says that Rava told Ryan Bar Chama on a question that he asked, Lefum Churfo Shabashta. As the sharpness gets so strong, when someone is too chorif, too sharp in his mind, that makes him make mistakes. And here's a place to point out what many Gedoylei Hadorus were mazir, were warning for somebody not to dwell into charifus haseichel, into the sharpness of the mind, to do what's called pilpulim, going back and forth and building buildings based on the svara of the seichel, because when someone just relies on that, that can lead to mistakes. The Rivash in Shuvah and Simon Reisha and Aleph says, we saw chachamim beinenu that are mipulpul v'chorif, very, very sharp, and they are able to do kushus v'tirutzim, questions and answers on every small thing. But because of their churfa, they're not able to get to halacha l'maisa. To come and know what's halacha, you need to have a straight seichel, a clear mind. When things are too much of a pilpul, too much of a back and forth, too much of sharpness, so then you're not able to come to a clear understanding of the halacha. And this leads to what the Sefer Orchas Tzadikim, Shar Chavov, and what the Maharal in many places screw about the people that try to learn, they try to get to Lomdis and to Toisesim before they know the simple pshat of the Gemara. The Orchas Tzadikim is ma'ich to say that you cannot compare the earlier generations to his generation, even his generations. It says in the early generations, they would sit in a sugya for years after years after years. They had so much focus on the sugya. They would be able to go and build buildings based on their understanding of the sugya. But in our generation, when a person is learning a little bit here, a little bit there, to go and be focused and to try to do pilpulim based on something that we don't really know so well, that just makes it heavier than Talmidim. And Talmidim lose the gishmak in learning. They have all kinds of questions and answers. They don't really know the basics of the sugya. He brings an example to this, what the Gemara and what Metzia says. There are Zeir had 40 Taniyos to forget Talmud Bavli, because he didn't want to be causing tirdus. Talmud Bavli is full of pilpulim. But Zeir, in his level, when he came to Eretz Yisrael, he wanted to have a straight mind, like you have in the Talmud Yerushalmi. And continues on the Chetzik and says, no, he says, it says in the Medrash, someone did an Averu, and he gets a punishment for Shemayim. What should he do? If he used to read one daf, he should read two dafim. If he knows he always chazers one parak, he should do it a few times that same parak. Or instead of one parak, he should do two prakim. So you see from here that the main tikkun in learning is to learn more. He didn't say, if you had only one question in Lomdis, have two questions in Lomdis. If you were thinking of learning only a few minutes, try to think more deeply into learning. That's what it says. Just try to be maspik, to learn, to cover more ground. And so on and so forth. The Orchas Tzadikim is marich so much about the fact that the pilpulim of Hevel is not the way to learn. The Maharal, as we mentioned earlier, the Maharal brings in the Chaim Perek Vov and the end of Mishnah Zayin and a few other places in the Sfarim where he cries about derech limud of his generation, which is really the derech limud of our generation. And he says the early generations, the way the Mishnah says, start slowly. When they got to 15, that's what they learned Gemara. They didn't jump steps. They learned the basics first. He says now everybody jumps. He says why people jump? Because of the pilpul. Because people are trying to be palpul divrei havoi b'halacha when they know that's not the real meaning of what they're learning. And they're just saying, I want to lechedude, I want to get sharper. But by doing pilpul, I'm getting sharper in learning, I'm able to learn better. And he says, doing pilpul, which is not a true pilpul, does not add anything to the havana and to the chidud of learning. And by doing that, you're lacking in the actual basic learning and the knowing girsa, knowing the ideas of the Gemara, knowing the ideas of the limud, and doing pilpulim just lacks in that. And this is really all embedded in the words of the Gemara. The fum churfa shabashta. The more charv a person is, the more a person uses the churfa, that brings it to shibush, to mistakes. And the first and ikar limud is to have the knowledge of Torah knowledge as much as possible, and after that, one could come and do Pilpulim Shel Emes. Anyone who wants to join the Shor Machshava email list or WhatsApp group, please email shormachshava@gmail.com.